There are three different ways you may file your patent application. These are manually through the U.S. Postal Service, electronically as an unregistered e-filer, or electronically as a registered e-filer. Regardless of the method you choose, the documents you have to provide to the USPTO are essentially the same. Firstly, you may file your application by mail with hard copy figures and specification, along with certain forms properly filled out and payment of your filing fees. The U.S. Patent Office, however, prefers that you electronically file, so they charge a surcharge for manual filing, which is $200 for a small entity or a micro entity, and twice that for a large entity. This is in addition to your filing fees, which for a micro entity at the time of preparing this video is $400. So manual filing is very clearly not a good idea. Why waste $200? But if you insist, you can find the right documents and procedures at the USPTO website. Secondly, you may file your application as an unregistered e-filer. We believe that this is by far the best option for you if you are filing your first application and you have no other patent cases in process with an examiner. Thirdly, you may file as a registered e-filer. This requires that you register with the U.S. Patent Office service called EFS Web and create a security key, a username, and a password. Registering as an e-filer is essential once your patent application is being examined, so you may e-file all communications with the Patent Office and follow all actions in your case or cases. But if this is your first filing, it will be quite some time before you need to be a registered e-filer. We have to tell you that to file your application electronically, and this is surely what you need to do, you must deal directly with the USPTO. We cannot file it for you. Our guidance is limited to you filing as an unregistered e-filer. You can register later if you wish, following directions in EFS Web. At this point, you have your specification complete and checked as an MS Word document, and one or more drawing figures either as manual drawings or in files of a drawing program. You must also file a declaration as a first or sole inventor and a supplemental declaration if there are one or more additional inventors. If you qualify as a microentity, you need to fill out a microentity certification form, and if there are joint inventors, each must prepare a microentity certification.
So you have your specification as a Word document, and you have all of your drawing figures either as manual drawings or as files in a drawing program. And what you need now are the declaration and the microentity form, if you happen to be a microentity, to be able to prepare all of the papers to file your patent application. We provide from the home page of Patent Rights Restored, go to Resources. These are all the download resources that we provide. Scroll down to Filing Papers, click on Filing Papers. If you're happening to use Mozilla Firefox as we do, you will get a window that looks like this. Click OK. Over here, it downloads that zip file, and in that zip file, if you click on it, are the three PDF forms that you will need. These are fillable forms. So you drag these onto your desktop or move them to somewhere that will be accessible to you, and then we will show you how to fill them out and how to prepare the papers that you will need to file your patent application. When you open Form PTO SB01, this is the declaration that you will need to fill out and file with your patent application. Now, this is a multi-purpose form. It's used by attorneys for filing on behalf of people, and it's used by individuals for filing on their own. You're filing on your own. So we will check the box that says Declaration Submitted with Initial Filing. There won't be an attorney docket number. The first named inventor will be you. So we're going to call that John Doe for now. The application number, filing date, art unit, and examiner's name You won't know. And right here is the important language that you are swearing to when you prepare this declaration. I hereby declare that each inventor's residence, mailing address, and citizenship are as stated below next to their names. And 2, I believe the inventors named below to be the original and first inventors of the subject matter which is claimed and for which a patent is sought on the invention titled. So here you put in the title of your invention, which is the same title that will be on your specification. So whatever it is, but we're going to call it, just for an example, John's machine. Going on down, the application of which was made or was authorized to be made by me, and it will be attached here too. So we click this one. And sometimes these won't show a check, so you need to put an X in the box. And since we checked that box, we don't check this one. We go on down. Authorization to permit access to application by participating offices. You don't have to do that. You don't have to give access to the application to the European Patent Office, the Japanese Patent Office, etc., etc., and you probably won't want to. So let's leave that out. If you decide you really do want to, you can check it, but I don't recommend it at this point. So now we come on down for foreign priority benefits. If you're filing a first patent application in the U.S., and then none of this applies, so you don't have to fill any of it out. If you actually are filing from a foreign country and you do have a prior foreign application, then you will want to fill this out. So if so, do so. That's page 2 of 3. Now we have the correspondence address. You're filing on your own behalf. So you're going to direct all correspondence to the correspondence address that you put in here, which will be your address. This part is for attorneys that are filing on the behalf of clients, so we'll leave that blank. So here you put in your name, your full name, your address, city, state, zip, country, telephone, and email. That is the correspondence address. That's for you. That's not doesn't declare any particular inventor. And then we have the declaration of inventors. The name of the sole or first inventor. If you're the only inventor, then you fill this out. Your given name, first and middle if you wish, family name or surname. This will be your signature, which will come later, so leave the signature blank. You can't sign it in a fillable form anyway. You can leave the date blank or put it in if you're going to print and sign this form right away. Best to leave it blank because you may do it tomorrow. Your residence, city, state, country, citizenship, your mailing address, city, state, zip, and country. And you're finished. Then you come back here and you say File, Save As. Then you can come to the desktop and you can put in any name that you wish. You can just call this Declaration if you wish, and you save it. So let's do that. We're going to put it on the desktop and we're going to call it Declaration. And we save. And that's all you need to do. Now this is form PTO SB02, and it is only used if there's more than one inventor. If you are the sole and first inventor, then you don't need this form at all. If there are additional inventors, if you have joint inventors, there may be 2 of you, for example, then you do need this form. Now this form has room for 3 additional inventors in addition to yourself as the first inventor. And if there are more than 3, then you'll need extra pages. But if there are fewer than 3, then this will be page 1 of 1. So you'll need to put that in there, page 1 of 1. And then for each additional inventor, there is no petition that is going to be filed, because we're assuming these inventors are signing the form. We only file a petition if the inventor refuses to sign the form. So we're assuming that's not going to happen in your case. So the first additional inventor, the first joint inventor, given name, family or surname, the inventor's signature, which would be added later, date, residence, all of the information for that inventor, a second joint inventor, and a third joint inventor. If such, you fill those out. Then you come and save this form just like you saved the declaration for the original inventor. And we're finished with this form, if it's even needed at all. Now this is Form PTO SB 15A, which is the certification of micro-entity status. If you are not a large entity or a small entity under the rules of the Patent Office, but wish to qualify as a micro-entity, which allows you to pay 1/4 of the large entity filing fees and generally fees all the way through, then you will need to fill out this micro-entity status form and file it with your patent application. Now, we are providing the form on the gross income basis. There is a basis that you can qualify for a micro-entity status if you make more than 3 times the median household income, which is about $150,000. But you do work for a university or for some other sorts of enterprises that would qualify for micro-entity status. You can look those up and do that, but we're assuming that most micro-entity status for people who are following our program are going to qualify on the income basis with an income less than the 3 times the median household income, which is presently about $150,000. So if you meet the requirement, then you fill out this form. We don't need an application number because we're just filing this with an original application. There is no patent number because we're filing as an original application. First name inventor is you. Title of the invention is the same that we've used on the other forms. Small entity requirement, there are some statements here that you may need to look at. I already told you the gross income limit on applicants' inventors. You have to look at gross income limit on parties that may have an ownership interest in your application. If there are none, you don't need that. Then it's a place here for your signature after we finish and print this form. Your name needs to go here, your full name, the date, your telephone number. You don't need a registration number because you're not a registered patent processor. So if there's more than one inventor, and I am one of the inventors who are jointly identified as the applicant, you check here. Now if there is more than one inventor and you wish to file under micro-entity, then it is necessary that each inventor, all of the joint inventors, fill out and sign one of these micro-entity certification forms. If it's just you, then this one form is sufficient, and you do the same thing we did before. Once you're finished with it, you go to File, Save, Save As, and you can save this document on your desktop with any name you wish.